Hey marketers, Bren Hamill here. Have you ever wondered how you can get even more from your search query data report? Or has that question only ever popped into your head as I've just mentioned it right now? In today's video, we're going to be discussing how you can get even more from that search query report, removing the myths around conversion rate and how people optimize around conversion rate and how that's a big no-no. Also, how you can cut wasted spend and spend even more money to the areas of keywords that are getting you a good result. Specifically, we're going to be discussing keyword data and what landing pages are working in regards to your keyword data. Very, very important. Further on, we're going to be using advanced segments to overlay the information that the search query report gets to you and how this can help with researching demographics and moving that information into your Facebook ad accounts as well. So hugely powerful there. Moving on, we're going to be using the search query data report to better understand the behaviors of your customers. Now, this is really huge because this allows you to cut wasted spend and allows you to also spend more on the better performing keyword phrases. Also, it allows you to identify those search queries that aren't actually keywords within your campaigns yet. So this allows you to make your campaigns much more granular. I'm talking about selecting or making a SKAG setup, a single keyword ad group for your best performing keyword phrases. This allows you to identify the keywords that prospects are inputting into the search engines and allows you to match that with a dedicated ad to it, and even further down that line to a dedicated landing page. This has a significant effect on quality scores, lowering your cost per click, and overall boosting your conversion rate and lowering that cost per acquisition. That's exactly what you want, of course. And lastly, but not least, the myth of conversion rates. As we get into today's video, you'll discover that conversion rates are not king. And people optimize around conversion rates quite regularly, and you'll see how this is detrimental to their performance. So let's jump over to my computer and we'll get into today's lesson. Hey guys, back at my computer. First and foremost, if you like these style of videos, don't forget to click the like button. It does help immensely within the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell because Google's limiting the exposure to subscribed videos now. So if you want to make sure that you get reminded when these videos appear, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Also, this video, if you're a new subscriber, is part of the Google Ads Optimisation series. So if you head over to my playlist, you'll see a whole host of videos that are just like this, that are all geared to getting you the best performance within your Google Ads campaign. So without any further ado, let's jump in to the actual tutorial for today. So here we are in Google Analytics. I have a few things blurred because of this is actually a new client, not actually a client yet. I'm just doing a free review for them. So I'm blurring out all the data as I do as normal, but I'm killing two birds with one stone, having a deeper dive into the keyword performance so I don't have to double touch it, and also making a video, so it's win-win for me. The data won't be perfect, as I did have a little quick snoop around just before I started the video, but we'll be able to wing through that and you'll still be able to apply the principles directly to your campaigns really, really quickly, really, really efficiently. So with that being said, what we want to do is first come to the Google Ads section within Google Analytics, scroll down and click Search Queries. Here we have a whole host of information relating to the performance of the search queries at the campaign level. Now we want to go just a little bit deeper and just get to the ad group. So we want to come to the second dimension tab, type in ad group, and then just select the ad group, not the ID one, the one below that. Now this will give us a step further of more data. So we're drilling down a little bit deeper now to the ad group level. So what we can see here is I've had to blur out some of the keyword data and the ad group data, but nonetheless, you'll start to see a slice deeper of data which we can start to use. Next, we want to come up to the e-commerce level. So here I've clicked the e-commerce tab here, and we start to see the data relating back to transactions, average order value, and e-commerce conversion rate and per session value. The per session value is one of the most important metrics to measure, be it if you're a lead-based business or an e-commerce-based business, because it's actually giving you very commercial and very reliable data. Now what we can see here is a non-set data issue, so I'm going to have to go back and investigate why this is occurring, but nonetheless we're going to plow through this. Now just before we move away from here, this report's actually quite valuable because the data is a step deeper, and it starts to give us some loose actionable insights, such as the average order value and conversion rate. But what it does show is conversion rate is not always the best predictor of the performance of a keyword. Now these are not search queries as in search phrases, but we're at the keyword match type level here within this column that's blurred out, unfortunately, but you'll get the idea. So what we can start to see here is that keywords that have good conversion rates and poor conversion rates, and some that have no sales whatsoever, where there's huge spend that need to be culled, we can see that conversion rates are always the best predictor of per session value. Now what I've gone and done is ordered these columns by highest revenue. Now what we can see here is a couple of small base keyword phrases that have small conversion rates but extremely high per session values. And that would start to lead us to begin that perhaps we can start to increase the bidding on these keyword phrases in order to get more traffic, because the per session value is so high. So we can start to use the calculations of what is the current bid for this keyword match type and what is the current per session value. Is the keyword getting enough search impression share? Is it high enough? Is it getting enough? Is it being high enough? Is it being bid high enough? What a tongue twister! Is it being bid high enough in order to get the most exposure as we can get it? Because it's getting such a good return on investment in terms of revenue. So we're starting to look at things at the per session value and not making decisions purely based on conversion rate. Because as you can see, you can get into quite a good amount of trouble when you start to base things on conversion rate wholly and solely alone. Now, ideally, you'd love a Google Ads campaign set up with only exact match keywords only, because they perform so well. But because the world isn't perfect and we end up blending in phrase match, modified broad match, and broad match along with the exact match, we have to dig a little bit deeper at times to understand exactly which keyword match types are performing the best. And quite often we notice that exact match is performing well, and I've seen some accounts where exact match isn't performing well. Now, if that is the case, you need to restructure the whole campaign because you are targeting the wrong keywords at the exact match level. Now, the way that we can see this is we move over to the query match type report. Again, we have this not set issue that needs to be rectified, but nonetheless we can see, and this is typical but not always the case, is that exact match is punching well above everyone else in terms of per session value. Now we can see exact match at $2.83, phrase match at $1.11, and broad match performing very, very poorly at 44 cents. Now we can start to calculate, is broad match even worth it? Can we quickly find all the broad match keywords and just completely eradicate them or pause them? Or can we drill down really, really quickly and grab them and see, are there any outliers of broad match keywords that are actually performing at a reasonable level? Now, to drill down on which broad match keyword match types are performing poorly, all we have to do is click the broad match tab here. Now this page loads and gives us the actual keyword match types that are broad match that are performing both well and poor, and we can start to make these negatives as we seem fit in terms of the context of the campaign and also the business. So what we can quickly do is sort by sessions, revenue, or transactions. I've just sorted by transaction to see which keyword phrases are actually getting sales, and we can see here a couple of broad match based keyword phrases that have small traffic volumes, but they have got just a handful of sales across the board, getting one sale each per particular keyword phrase. What I've done now is ordered by most sessions to least amount of sessions. What it does, it starts to show us there's a whole host of keywords here that have got good traffic amounts that are just purely wasted spend. Now these need to be added as negative keywords if they do not fit the actual context of the campaign or the context of the business, or we need to research them further in order to find what negative keywords can we potentially add to these ad groups in order to make these keywords perform better, if that is the case and the cause of the low performance for these keywords. Also, what I want to quickly touch upon is that if we order by transactions again, and if your data suggests that there are keyword phrases that are getting very good amounts of sales along with a good per session value, you may want to start moving and investigating these ad groups and keywords at a deeper level in order to move them to exact match, where you can bid more to get more visibility, more clicks, and generate more revenue for you and more absolute profit at the end of the day. You essentially want to be bidding more for your very good performing keyword phrases and getting them more traffic, because they are getting you a better quality of visitor, and that's leading to better profitability and better revenue overall. Now I've come back to the default search query tab here. Now what I want to ask you is that, what do you think would win? Either short based keyword phrases in terms of the number of words, or long tail keyword phrases? Now the true sense of what everyone says and what everyone dictates as a principle is that long kind of tail keywords perform a whole lot better than short tail keyword phrases. And there's a whole reasons why that is the case and why people back that as that being a principle that everyone should stick by. But it's quite often not the case, and I highly recommend that you look at this conversion data in relation to your own campaign. And how you do this is by simply clicking the the query word count tab, and this will start to show us the length of keyword phrases that are leading to sales. And more often than not, we can start to see 2-3 length keyword phrases producing very good amounts of sales, and quite often can show a good return on investment in terms of per session value. So here we are back at the default search query tab. Now what I want to do again is click the e-commerce tab and ask you a quick question. Do you think short-term keyword phrases perform better than long tail keyword phrases? Now, the normal principle is that short tail far punches a better result for you than long tail, but it's not always the case. And I highly recommend that you view this on your own account, because as you'll see in this particular campaign is if we click the query word count tab and make sure that we've clicked the e-commerce tab, we can start to see that two phrased keywords and 3 phrased keywords perform exceptionally well with a good per session value of $2.32 and $2.63. But as we move down, we can start to see 4 and 5s below the dollar mark, and as you can quickly look through that there's a whole range and spread based upon the keyword length. So this is some actual data that you can use to ensure that your campaigns are structured correctly. So here I am, and I've moved to the Google demo Google Analytics account, where it shows the Google Merchandise Analytics data. And we can see here that the information is eerily similar to the previous campaign that I just showed you. And I quite often see that short tail keywords perform so much better. So here we can see 1, 3, and 2 are winning by quite a fair margin. And in particularly, one word keyword phrases, look at that per session value, $6. That's fantastic. Barely any keyword phrase doesn't even come remotely close to that $6 per session value. Again, if you want to drill down and understand which keywords, be it one kind of word keyword phrases or 2 or 3, you simply have to click the actual number, and you'll see the keyword match types that are triggering the performance. So this is very valuable information to see which way you want to be structuring your campaigns, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, to get into the demographic based targeting and how this can really help you both within your Google Ads campaigns and also with your Facebook campaigns, is the demographics tab within Google Analytics. So what we need to do is click audiences, demographics, age, And we want to add the secondary dimension of gender. So if we just click GENDER, we will see gender. So what's really cool is optimizing and researching the data at the demographic level for your Google Ads campaigns. Now this can be transferred over to your Facebook campaign. So it's kind of a 2-for-1, killing two birds with one stone here. So it's really powerful and exceptionally worth your time. Now what we want to do is come over to the audience tab, click demographics, click age, and at the secondary dimensions tab, we want to look at gender. So we select gender, and what this will do, and I've also segmented down at the paid traffic level within the Google Ads, Google Merchandise, Google Analytics review. Okay, now that this is loaded, we want to click the e-commerce tab again. And what we'll see now is we'll be able to organize by per session value, and we'll start to see which age groups along with which gender perform the best. Now we can quickly see here that females between the age of 18 and 24 have an exceptionally high per session value of $3.28. Now we can start to make either campaigns purely based upon this demographic and age group, or we can either make bid adjustments within our campaigns using this demographic information. Again, we can move this over to our Facebook campaigns and make sure that we are targeting this specific demographic really clearly and specifically, because they have such a high likelihood of spending money with you or your client. But again, we can see here just quickly is that high conversion rates such as here, 1.84 is definitely higher than the female 18 to 24 range, but has half the actual per session value. So this again reinforces the rule that do not optimize purely based on conversion rate, because it is not always the case that they are good performing keywords when speaking commercially for you or your client. So that's very important to keep at the forefront of your mind when you are measuring the performance of your Google ad campaigns. So I've jumped back over to the search queries tab and I've selected e-commerce, and as a secondary dimension I've selected destination URL. Now what we're going to see here is the performance of landing pages in relation to keyword phrases. Now this is really cool because it allows you to quickly evaluate whether keyword phrases and landing pages are marrying up and producing the right result that you want. So what we can see here is that you can start to use engagement metrics such as behavior, metrics like bounce rates and average time on site, so on and so forth, to see are landing pages engaging but not converting? Do they need to be redesigned, tweaked, and so on and so forth? Or the keyword phrase and landing page incongruent? So perhaps you've got quite a specific keyword phrase sending to the home page or a category page. Can you, excuse me, send them to a specific product page or a specific category page that is directly related to the keyword phrase? So with that being said, what we can see here is a whole host of data, of course, but again, it's the same culprits. We're looking at average value and per session value. And immediately we can start to see that this particular one, and this one, and so on and so forth, that have good traffic numbers, but exceptionally poor performance. So what we want to do is dive deeper again into the actual performance of these landing pages. You would go to the behavior tab, landing pages, only filtering paid traffic and seeing the performance. Also, we want to make sure that the keyword phrases are congruent with the actual landing page. So I know that this is blurred out, but I can see here that this keyword phrase and landing page are extremely applicable. It's congruent. So there's definitely something wrong with this landing page. So we need to go in, have a look at the landing page. What can be done to improve the likelihood of a visitor visiting here that's searching for this particular product? How can we improve the likelihood that they actually convert? So this is a very valuable report that can quickly allow you to dive in really quickly and see how you can improve the overall performance of low performing keyword phrases. Furthermore, we can start to again select the keyword phrases again, that are performing well, and maybe we start to manage the bid adjustments in accordance to the per session value. So there you have it. Some really cool ways on how to use the search queries report within Google Analytics. It's a really powerful tool within the analytics platform, and I urge you to become familiar with it. In the near future, I'm going to have a few more videos in relation to the search queries report and how you can use it to find big fat performing keyword phrases, and how you can optimize your Google Ads campaign to focus around these big fat keyword phrases in order to drive revenue, drive profit for you and your clients and your business if you're an entrepreneur. So with that being said, I would love if you did click that like button and click the subscribe button. It really does help. And also, if you ever want to have a chat with me, it's completely free. All you have to do is jump over to brenhamel.com. Once you're here, simply just scroll down, find this button, click this button, and you'll see a whole new page, and you'll see what you get. These consultations are completely free. There's no obligation. I'm not trying to sell you absolutely anything. So what happens is that you just fill out the form. My personal assistant will contact you, set up a quick time for us to have a really quick chat, 5-10 minutes. I get some context about the campaigns you're running and your business. And then what I'll do is I'll get access, hopefully if you allow me access to your campaigns, and I'll go through with a fine-tooth comb and analyze them for you, showing you how to fix them to improve performance at no fee, no obligation, or anything of that nature. If you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see a whole host of different people that have undertaken this and that have enjoyed the experience just like you will if you wish to do this. So with that being said, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.